Hello everyone, I'm Golden Ashwini. I'm here to present morals, values, work ethics, integrity in professional ethics and engineering. Okay, so engineering we know that is a people serving profession. Okay, on completion of this video, students will be able to explain what is work ethics. Then they can explain also about the integrity and moral values. So I already told you engineering is the people serving profession. The work of engineers involves interaction with the clients and other engineers and the public at large. More than any other profession, their work also directly involves and affect the society and the environment. They play a key role in all aspects of technical, economical, and environmental development. So, engineers as professionals invariably face different situations during their career, where values becomes variables in the decision making process. In fact, the ethical aspect of a decision often prove more difficult than the technical. So, engineers should be aware of their social responsibilities. They also need to develop a greater awareness and an understanding of the ethical and social implications that arises in their profession. So, what do you think about the human values? Human values are nothing but basic normal values one ought to possesses to live as a citizen or a person. Okay, so we know that as well as some principles compose the foundation of the human values upon which societies have been established. That is the innate dignity of a human life, respect and consideration of the other, the interconnection between humankind and the environment, and thus the need to care for and preserve the earth. So, moral integrity is a virtue which reflects the consistency of one's attitude, emotions, and conduct in relation to justified moral values. Okay, work ethics, it is a set of values based on hard work and diligence. It is also a brief in moral benefit of work and its ability to enhance character. So, why do we need to study about human values? As we are aware, economic and social globalization has yielded positive as well as a negative effect. On the other hand, cultures around the world are threatened by the uniformity that globalization brings. They are struggling to maintain their identities, their distinguished qualities, traditions, and characters that proves a unique contribution to human history. Globalization has been seen to endanger cultural diversity, and this would be a tragic loss for humankind. On the other hand, increased contact between people and nations enhances awareness of our kinship and the shared code of ethics and conduct that underlies all civilization. Okay, if it is these values that we must now promote to create a common vision and means for moving forward toward a more peaceful and sustainable world. Okay, next we are going to see about the ethics. So we need to know what is good and bad, likewise as well as morality and ethics. The term moral and ethical actually are often used interchangeably in casual conversation, but they are important a difference. What is that? Some definitions for ethics, we can say it is a set of moral principles. The word derived from a Greek word ethos, which means the characteristics, spirit, or attitudes of a community, people, or a system. Okay, we can also say that art of human living. Okay, ethics is mainly intent to form a good men and women. Okay, we can say that it's a science of a man as a gentle man, and um, ethics is a systematic analysis of morality. In other words, ethics is a scientific involvement demonstration of morality. Okay, it also deals with right and wrong and reflect one's morals. That means the personal sense of what is right or what is wrong, just in context, not necessarily aligned with legal rights and obligations. Your personal sense of ethics is, we can say, your conscience. Okay, next is teacher of ethics. So, ethics can be taught by mother, father, teacher, coaches, friends, and clients, but morality cannot be taught. Through recent arguments, we can easily recall that our mothers are the first teachers of ethics. One of the chief concerns of an 8-year-old child at the cinema is to be find out whether a given character on the screen is a good guy or a bad guy. Next, origin of ethics. We see that in our various activities, just any way of behaving will not do, and there is a right and wrong way to conduct ourselves. Early in human history, people must have seen that these questions could be asked of life as a whole. Is there a right or a wrong way of living? Of gathering all these activities into a spending of one's life? Is there a pattern, a model, and an ideal of a good human life? If so, where can a people find it and how strictly out they follow it? We have no record of such speculations in history. Ancient Greeks, being seafarers and um, colonizers can come into close contact with various surrounding peoples and were struck by the variety of customs and laws and also institutions that prevailed. They began to ask themselves whether their own were really superior. If so, why? In time, their study led to an examination of all human conduct. This part of philosophy they called ethics. Okay, next, ethics is relation to other studies. I mean, psychology, anthropology, social science. Okay, can compare it with the ethics. First, we can say psychology and ethics. Both psychology and ethics deal with human behavior, with the ability people have and the acts they perform. Psychology studies how humans actually do behave. Ethics how they ought to behave. Okay, next, we can focus on anthropology and ethics. Both anthropology and ethics deal with human customs on various levels of culture and civilization. Anthropology studies the origin and the development of human customs without passing any judgment on their moral rightness or wrongness. But it is the rightness or wrongness alone that interests ethics. Next, we can focus on social science and ethics. Social science, such as social, economic, and political science, deal with actual social, economic, and political institutions, what they are and how they function. Ethics determines what they ought to be and how they ought to be function. Okay, law and ethics. The study of law is closely related to the ethics. Though both deal with up to the civil law and the moral law do not always perfectly correspond. Okay, the study of civil law deals only with those acts permitted or prohibited by civil law. Ethics with the tribunal of conscience judgment of all our acts. Okay, next is a practical science. We can say ethics is a practical science. Generally, laws and rules are made to limit bad behavior, right? And by default, to highlight good behavior. Some actions may be lawful but still unethical. For example, a high price can legally be changed for a service, but if the same price is fixed for everyone and the service is needed most by those who can least afford it, ethical concerns arise about balancing profit and charity. Some actions, such as murder, are clearly unlawful, yet, there are many situations that fall in between. They constitute the gray areas between the clearly bad and clearly good. With the gray areas, ethics is about choices which matter and choices which matter to you. A situation calling for a decision becomes an ethical dilemma when there are at least two good choices that can be made. Everyone comes across situations that continually test how and why they make a decision regarding a choice of action. So that's part of the reason we are here in human form, to develop inner clarity and to apply intelligence wisely and compensate. We can say it's downs of everyday life experience. Next, ethics in a pluralistic society. So the nation today, or we can say society, is comprised of many subgroups or sub communities, each of which has its own views of the morally good life. Whatever the diversity and the disagreement we find, we also find general agreement that mature persons are free to articulate and choose for themselves the lifestyle, religious beliefs, moral convictions, and sentiments they want, as long as they do no harm to any other persons. Next is integrity. So, for integrity is one of the most important virtue terms. It is used synonymously with morals. At times, we distinguish acting morally from acting with integrity. Persons of integrity may, in fact, act immorally. Through they would usually not know they are acting immorally. Thus, one may acknowledge a person to have integrity even though that person may hold importantly mistaken moral values. Integrity actually refers to a quality of a person's character when it's applied to object. Integrity refers to the wholeness, intactness, or purity of a thing. As a self integration, on the self integration view of integrity is a matter of person integrating various parts of their personality into a harmonious intact whole. In other words, the integrity of persons is analogous to the integrity of things. So, integrity is primarily a matter of keeping the self intact and uncorrupted. Okay, next one is integrity as a maintenance of identity. A related approach to integrity is to think of it primarily in terms of a person's acting according to their commitments rather than ordering around and endorsing desires. Commitment is used as a broad term covering many different kinds of intentions, promises, convictions, and relations of trust and expectations. Next one is standing for something. Integrity is standing for something, we can say self integration and identity views of integrity see it as primarily a personal virtue, a quality defined by a person's care of the self. Okay, then the social character of integrity is a matter of a person's proper regard for their own best judgment. Next one is moral purpose. So, integrity in terms of moral purpose can be described as a person's dedication to the pursuit of a moral life and their intellectual responsibility in seeking to understand the demands of such life. So, virtue, we already know integrity as a virtue, integrity to be a complex and thick virtue term. One gains a far grasp of the variety of ways in which people use the term integrity by examining conditions commonly accepted to defeat a person's integrity. So, integrity stands as a mean to various excesses. Okay, next one is work ethics. Work ethics is nothing but a cultural norm that advocates being personally accountable and responsible for the work that one does and is based on the belief that work has intrinsic value. Okay, in this actually we have a many characteristics of work ethics can be summarized. What are that? Interpersonal skills, initiative, being dependable. Okay, that's all. Thank you.